Popular recursion. Before we get going on recursion, let's talk about some ways that recursion is seen in popular culture. First, as a simple joke, recursion, you can see recursion for the definition, which of course is recursive. Lest you think no one tells this joke, here it is, Google telling this joke. This is a Google search for recursion, and if we can close that, when you search for recursion, what it says is, did you mean recursion? If you click on that, it asks you, did you mean recursion again? Because that's recursive. Fabulous. Here's an XKCD comic, which is wonderful. These people are in the comic playing a game of something like Dungeons and Dragons. And inside the game, somebody says that he gathers everyone around a table in the game. And then the elves start whittling dice and get out some parchment for character sheets. So that is, in the game, he's having to play a game at which she complains, hey, no recursing. So it's a recursion joke. The Drost effect, you can see right here, Drost was a cocoa, a Dutch cocoa. And on the cover, as you can see here, was this person who was holding a tray, which on the had a Drost cocoa, which on the cover had herself again, holding a tray, which on the cover herself again. That's known as the Drost effect. And in fact, you can see the Drost effect if you were to search for it in an image search for Drost effect. You'll see lots of people making their own little Drost effects. You can do this yourself if you have a mirror handy, actually two mirrors, and you position them such as you can see one mirror through the other. It's pretty easy to make a Drost effect. Fractals. Oh, and by the way, to pause, what makes a Drost effect recursive is that to make the image of a Drost effect, you need to have the image of a Drost effect. And there it is. That's recursion. So fractals turn out to be naturally recursive, in that fractals are self-similar. As you look closer in on a fractal, generally you find itself. That is one way to define a fractal, and you can see some very nice fractals if you do a Google image search. Very nice ones indeed. And usually what makes a fractal really nice is the coloring to visualize what's going on in an interesting and artistic way. There's also, by the way, this video here of an infinitely zooming fractal, which is oddly satisfying. The chicken and egg problem is mutual recursion. To get a chicken, all you need is an egg, but to get an egg, of course, all you need is a chicken. Sourdough turns out to be a recursive recipe because you start sourdough with sourdough, which is sort of a problem. Here's some nice books on that talk about recursion. And finally, the Wikipedia page on recursion is here. And it includes a lot of good reading and actually a number of examples that we are going to cover in this class. But like this tree here was actually constructed recursively. Pretty cool stuff. And that is recursion in popular culture.